ZAKI ALLITO feels like the world has abandoned him. He's had his home destroyed twice in the past 5 years. The second time was just a few weeks ago.
They bombed my home as we were trying to escape. They destroyed my car, which had all my belongings in it.
Russia says it's only bombing ISIL fighters in what the Kremlin describes as terrorists in Syria. I asked Zaki why he believes his town was targeted.
There were no terrorists in our town. The Russians were targeting civilians. They want to expel all the Sunnis and Arabs and pave the way for Kurds and Shia to move in.
Zaki is just one of tens of thousands of people who've recently flooded towards the Turkish border. They're now in the al-Salama camp, but it's not equipped to accommodate all these people. There are only a handful of toilets for the tens of thousands here, medicine is in short supply, and there's no heating to combat the severe cold. The Turkish aid agency IHH, which runs the camp together with Qatari charities, says it's doing its best. 100,000 loaves of bread and 25,000 hot meals are delivered every day. They've also provided 20,000 blankets and more than 3,000 tents, but they say much more is needed.
Unfortunately, the international communities, they are not doing the enough which we expect from them. Hopefully, after the ceasefire, which it is recently signed by both sides, it will encourage the international communities to provide the services for IDPs.
Now, although Turkish and Qatari aid agencies have set up tents to shelter the thousands of internally displaced, the conditions here are dire to say the least. Take a look at this. This is essentially the drainage system. Essentially, it's just a couple of inches dug into the ground. So if there's any sort of significant rainfall, all of that water will flood into the tent, not only adding to the bitter cold, but also increasing the risk of the spread of disease across this camp. As we walk through the camp, we meet Yusuf. She's come here on foot, walking hundreds of kilometers together with her 4 children. 2 of them desperately need medical care, and she fears for their lives.
Where shall I go? Just tell me where. Just put us in a place so we can die peacefully, and we will. We don't even want to live anymore. We just want to die peacefully.
Her cries are that of a mother whose children's life is slipping away as she watches on helplessly. But her story isn't unique. This lady shows me her 2 children. Both are disabled with mental illnesses. They cower in their tent trying to stay warm. The medical care that they so desperately need will most likely never reach them. They're lucky to have found food and shelter. The cessation of hostilities agreement is meant to allow for aid to reach all those in need across Syria. The sheer destruction and devastation to people's lives and property makes that an almost impossible task. What's even more daunting to think about is how or if all that's been destroyed will ever be rebuilt.